LC Valley, this is Jesse and Juliaetta residents. We're here at the Juliaette City Council meeting. It's about to start in about 5 minutes, and today is the day that the mayor is going to announce his resignation, and they're going to swear in the new mayor for Juliaetta. So we're going to go ahead and take a view on that and show the process. So come on down.
Just remember this sign in.
There's no more seating in here. You're just gonna have to sit out there.
Is that where?
Out there.
Yeah, I'm sorry, go right here.
There's seats out there?
We just reached capacity.
Oh. I don't think he heard you.
So you need to tell Jesse.
Are we at capacity?
Yes.
Okay,
Jesse has to go out there.
can I have everybody's attention, please, before we get started?
We gotta go out here, they
We
said.
are at capacity, so we'll have to have folks go into the annex.
Just us, we're the late ones.
No, we're at capacity, you need to
have
stand in
to.
the annex. You have to go in the
You have
annex.
to go in there.
And you guys are fine, it's just we're at capacity, so.
You guys were the last
Yeah,
ones
You guys
in.
were the last ones in, so you have to go in the annex and sit in there.
There's a sign here.
Right here,
and a sign
overflow,
here.
max capacity.
Okay, so everybody sees this, right? Sorry about that. That one didn't make it.
I think it's a fire code.
That is a fire code.
Yeah.
Yep.
Judy made it.
So you have to
You
go
see
in
over
there,
there?
please take a seat in there. No, you actually have to sit down in there, please.
How can we watch what's going on?
Yeah, how do you have
Listen,
that?
you can
We have a
listen.
camera right there.
Yeah, we have our local
Camera.
citizen right there.
Wait a minute, what? Is that live till we can watch?
It's not live, but we are asking the people sit in the annex itself.
Yeah, we won't be able to see.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Well, you'll be over here.
We gotta go over here. We can stand in the door, I guess.
Still fire.
Still a fire hazard, correct, Clifford? What's that? Still a fire hazard if they're standing in the door?
Or beyond the door threshold?
Yes.
The annex will have its own occupancy as well.
Right, and it has 30.
Okay.
Yep, and there's seats in there for them to sit down.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
So are you gonna sit down or are you gonna,
I won't be able to see, unfortunately.
you can hear?
We're right here.
See, I was in the military, and the left side of my hearing's gone. I don't hear, I can't hear.
Someone else if they'll give up their seat.
But this meeting is for Juliaetta residents.
You're right.
People on the agenda.
It's
You're right.
public.
I'll change seats with you.
You're gonna have to have 2 people if he wants his cameraman in here.
Bonnie and I will go, or Jim and I will go.
So then when Bonnie, when you're on the agenda, somebody will have to exit and then
We'll
you'll
just
have
go,
to come in.
just go.
Okay?
All right, Dave and Jesse.
You come out
You
there.
gotta go in the annex.
Yeah?
Yep.
I'll wait till they come, I guess. I don't know what I'm saying.
And then I'll swap out with you when you reach.
Hey.
Bonnie, I'll swap out with her.
Oh, thanks, Jim. Appreciate it. There's extra seats in the back. It's a public forum, yeah.
For them two right there.
That's right. Oh, for those two? Okay, sorry. Thank you.
Just don't get my head in there, okay?
Oh, I'll go over it. Right there.
No, yeah.
Child
I
support lady.
barely combed it.
Oh, that's the child support lady?
Yeah, right there.
She doesn't know I paid $19,000 and I have a zero
And you
debt.
put one in your mouth.
Good, that's very
You
good.
shouldn't say stuff like
Anybody
that.
nothing about child support right here. It's all about Juliaetta hometown.
She started, she
No, you ran your mouth. Quit it.
She is running her mouth.
Quit it.
Shouldn't make comments like that.
Okay, it's 7 o'clock, we're going to get started. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda pursuant to Idaho Code 74-204 subsection 4 for the good faith purpose of adding agenda item number 14, the presentation of Angela Taylor, Woodville Associations regarding the sewer collection study, and item number 15, Liberty Concrete's protest to the bid award, as well as correcting a clerical error on agenda item number 3, changing approval of January payables to February payables.
It has been moved and seconded. All in favor? Motion passes. So as many of you know, Mayor Groscos has decided to retire, so I will read his letter To the city of Julietta and city council, please be advised that I have served this community for over 42 years. I have decided after serious consideration to retire from the position of mayor of city of Julietta effective February 28th, 2025. We wish him the best in his retirement.
Yes, we do. We've heard this already.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot the minutes. Amanda, you want to pass those around? Sorry, I got ahead of myself. Hey.
I'll make a motion to accept the
Did you
minutes
get a
from
look at the minutes?
February 11th
Okay.
and February 18th, special meetings, 2020.
Moved and seconded, all in favor? Motion passes.
And make a motion to accept the payables for February 2025. I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded, all in favor? Motion passes. Want to talk about the,
We had our, March 3rd open session meeting, and we discussed, appointing Nick Anderson as mayor as council. So I would like to make a motion to accept him as our new mayor.
Yes.
it's been moved and seconded, all in favor?
Absolutely.
Motion passes. Okay, so now, as council president, before I'm sworn in, I will swear in Cheyenne. She is, our new clerk and treasurer. So Cheyenne, if you would like to go up to the podium. Uh-oh.
They're right here.
Oh. I thought I had them. Oh, no, I need the, I don't need those, I have the, what I'm supposed to say. I apologize, this is my first meeting, so please bear with me.
You're doing great.
I know you gave them to me. Oh, here it is. Okay. Okay, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Idaho, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of city clerk and treasurer of the city of Julietta according to the best of your ability?
I do.
Okay, thank you. Did you get a picture?
Yep.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, please raise your right hand. Oh, I'm sorry. You don't want my backside?
No.
Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Idaho, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of mayor of the city of Julietta according to the best of your ability?
I do. Okay, I would like to address the public for just a quick minute. Please bear with me as I try to make this through without a little emotional tonight. Hello, everyone. It's really nice to see you all here this evening. For those of you who might not know me, I'm Nick Anderson. Though I am new to the role of mayor, I have had the privilege of serving on the council for the past 11 years and have been part of this community for over 30 years. As we move forward, we will be adopting a more structured approach to our meetings to ensure that we use our time more efficiently. I kindly ask everyone present to maintain respect for each other and the process, and to refrain from sidebar conversations during the meetings. Those who choose to engage in disruptive behavior will be politely asked to step outside. I am committed to working collaboratively with you and the council to do what is in the best interest of our town. I want to emphasize that the voice of our citizens is invaluable and it is crucial that it is heard. I encourage both positive and constructive feedback, whether through public comments, during our meetings, or phone calls, emails, or letters to the city. Tell us what you think we're doing well and what improvements you might like to see. It is an honor to serve as your mayor in the community I grew up in and care deeply about, just as I know you do. Together, we will continue moving forward, working to strengthen and enhance the well-being of our town, and I believe this approach will help us do just that. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on.
And number 7 is approval of Cheyenne for the bank accounts, but we did talk a little bit about having a special meeting at a later date to take care of that. So if you guys are okay, I'd like to table that.
And then we'll figure out a special meeting and set it up. Do we have to have a second on the table?
I'll second.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to table. I'll second.
it has been moved and seconded. All in favor? Motion passes. So, Reagan Grabner, he reached out to the city and Cheyenne put him in contact with me. He's a board member for Ag West Farm Credit. And every year they pick a city to give $50,000 to $100,000 to for just a donation for like playground equipment or stuff like that. So I asked him if we could give him a call and he'll kind of tell us more about it. I asked it to be an action item so that we can, in case we decide tonight, or we can decide at a later date.
Hello, it's Reagan.
Hey Reagan, this is Nick, Mayor of City of Julietta.
Oh, hey, Nick. Good to hear your voice. I'm in Korea.
Oh!
Oh my gosh.
But, it sounds like I may be on a speakerphone. This is actually fine timing if it works.
Yeah, no, we do have you on speakerphone. We're in our council meeting. I just thought you could kind of talk to the rest of the council about what you and I talked on the phone the other day.
Yes, wonderful. Well, I'm so glad that you called. Forgive me. I am in Seoul, Korea right now. I'm a farmer. I love farming in Julietta, kind of at the top of the grade there. That's where my heart is, but my greater part of my livelihood is selling or potato farming. And so some of my customers are here overseas, and so that's where you find me today. But the exciting idea to share with you is somehow I was put on a advisory committee for Ag West Farm Credit, and so they used to be known as Northwest Farm Credit. Some of you might be familiar with that name, but they're a large bank that I don't know if it's half the farmers, but quite a few farmers in the area would typically use for buying real estate or financing farming activities. And so, big successful organization, and they really have a priority and a commitment to invest in their communities. And so part of the job of the committee that I'm on, find projects that are meaningful and build the communities. I think the idea is, as we discussed, is not exactly to repave Main Street kind of a thing. I think they would like to have things that have a little bit more kind of warm and fuzzy factor to them. When I get back to my hotel tonight, I'll forward you over some examples of what they've done historically. But we talked a little bit about maybe a community playground kind of upgrade type of project. And I think that would squarely be in the sweet spot of the type of projects that they would look to fund. And the meaningful part of it is the dollars involved are not insignificant. Like most of their grants are between $50,000 and $100,000. So it's meaningful, enough to do some real work and have a big impact, which is exciting. And the guy that I deal with actually poked me in the eye the other day. He's like, Reagan, you're new on this committee. You're supposed to come up with the project. And so I actually asked the neighbor or two, and he hadn't heard anything. And so he actually kind of lost a cold call into the office there. And I think that's how I got here with you guys tonight, but, yeah, that's the background, and I think I'd probably need a partner in crime to maybe, help fill out paperwork and describe, any ideas that we might have together, and, certainly you guys would be the, kind of the inspiration of what specific project might be worth describing and, elevating to have them take a look at.
So is there
How's
a,
that for a summary?
that's pretty good. Is there a, like timeframe that you would want us to have this done?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, well, I don't know about the, the work being done, but they're trying to, there's an annual cycle that we're kind of, inserting ourselves into late. I think it might be April 15th, kind of tax day sort of a thing. I'll confirm that as well, but it's certainly something we want to get after. And I guess, if we don't get our act together this year, it can always be early for next year, but, he had mentioned that they were kind of light on opportunities this year, so it'd probably be a good chance if we had a worthy project to have it, get a hard look.
okay. Does anybody have any other questions?
Not right now.
It's 50 to 100,000, correct, Reagan?
It is, yes, yep.
That's awesome.
Okay. Well, I think we'll probably want to talk about it. We'll get back to you. Right?
Yeah, circle back. I'm, again, kind of fun to talk to you from across the world, but
Yeah.
I'm back on Thursday, and feel free to call anytime. And as I said, if it is something we want to kind of get organized around, we probably want to get after it. So yeah, I would love to work with one of you next week to
So we're
maybe
gonna,
document something.
Reagan, my name is Wendy, I'm a council member. We're gonna do a special meeting, try to plan a special meeting, so maybe we can add you to that and you can bring some information to us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be fine if that's, just let me know when that's gonna happen, and, this is my, I think my last scheduled trip for a while, so should be able to, be a part of that. That'd be great.
Okay, perfect.
All right, well, thank you. Anybody have any other questions?
Yep,
Okay, I think we're good.
cool. Have a good rest of your meeting.
Thank you.
too. Okay, I'll make a motion to, table this until we can do the special meeting and he's back in the United States.
It has been moved and
Yeah.
seconded. All in favor? Motion passes. Okay, on to approval of modifying the city hall public hours, to Monday through Friday, 8 to 12.
Will that work with you, Cheyenne, if we did 8 to 12 and then you could do your hours that are needed after that when the office is closed?
Correct.
Up to 30 to 40 hours?
Yep, that would work great on my end.
We did do this 7 to, I think it was 1 for a while, and we were only seeing one person very rarely at the 7 o'clock hour, so that's why we decided to move it back to 8. I think it's what we originally discussed.
That's better, you guys agree with
Is that what we discussed?
Mhm.
Yeah, and with Cheyenne taking on both positions, that will give her a nice solid afternoon hours to get the job done. So she's not rushed and interrupted.
Justin, could you hand the book so that the lady that just showed up could sign it?
And then they probably should be sitting there.
Okay, Justin, how are you?
Good. We'll give you a notification here in a minute when you're up, okay?
I'll make a motion to change the new public city hours to Monday through Friday, 8 AM to 12 PM.
A second.
It has been moved and seconded to change the hours from 8 to 12. All in favor? Motion passes. Okay, so now we're on to approval of the Hayden Ross audit engagement letter. Everybody have a chance to,
Yeah. Yeah, it's something we talked about. Mark, any questions? Okay. Make a motion to accept the approval of Hayden Ross audit engagement letter.
Second.
it has been moved and seconded. All in favor? Motion passes. Okay, discussion of keeping Melva and Cindy on the payroll for training purposes and to fill in as needed. So I think this was brought up, as Cheyenne is still kind of learning and stuff, that we wanted to just keep them on the payroll, not like being paid, but just as if they do come in to help, right? I think it's kind of what.
Help, and then if she's gone, then that way it's not left on Justin, it's actually somebody that's trained and has the access.
Does anybody have any
No concerns?
A motion to keep the.
We don't have an action item on that one.
One time.
No.
I'll let you do the next one.
Okay. Bonnie, you're up.
I'm just, here to ask if we can use the concession stand again this year for the baseball, games. So we are doing it for the baseball association, so.
I mean, I don't care that the baseball association uses, I mean, that's fine, that's what we've done before, right? I don't know why it's on the agenda. I mean, what have we done in the past? People just come in here and just rent it, right?
Well, I think is there a fee for renting it, Cheyenne?
I did have the fee schedule put out there for we could look at that. I did ask Ryan to print that for you guys.
Oh, right.
Highlighted on page 2.
Yeah, but the last few years you've waived that, so I guess that's why I'm asking, so. That we can waive it because it's actually nonprofit, me and Glenn don't get anything out of it. It all goes to,
Well, they'll be the ones renting it, right? I mean, is it for you or is it for them or what?
it's for them, but we will be doing all the work.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I had some concerns, simply because talking with Justin about the condition was left in last time, but.
Well, the refrigerator was completely full of buns, and there was food under the counters, the refrigerator was full of stuff, so it was kind of left in a state. So we just ended up throwing it all in the dumpster because
Yeah.
we didn't know. So,
Can I go with it?
Yeah.
I'm Brian East, I'm here representing the JK Baseball Association. If it makes things easier, we would be willing to take over oversight of the cleanliness and, just the overall management of the property. If that makes things easier for you guys. We're there every day. We just wanna see this, the concession stand at games, not for any monetary, nothing about the money, just for the experience.
Well, it's for patrons.
Yeah.
That show up, yeah.
Exactly. I think it helps us and helps kids, so. We just wanna see it happen, and if it takes us taking over that oversight, we're willing to do that.
Right.
So. That's all.
Go ahead. Whatever you decide. You have to work.
So the baseball association itself, though, is taking over, is actually, who's gonna be running it? And so the baseball association is asking for us to waive the fee, is that correct?
Yes, please.
Okay. I motion to let the baseball association be in full charge of this and to waive the fee for the baseball association.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
This has been moved and seconded. All in favor? Motion passes. Okay, Carly Warner.
Callie.
Callie?
Sally Warner here, I didn't see her.
She's not here.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Bonnie, we'll be in touch.
Yes. Hey, Ty.
So, it was brought to my
Judy can come
attention
back
as
and,
the maintenance supervisor that
message
Callie
her.
Warner would like to do a senior project at the park. And so, as you guys know, her father is in construction, and so she wants to build concrete steps from the road down to the fields. What's that?
That would be really nice.
Down to the field, so that it's kind of rocky now and a gravel path, and anyway, so she was gonna bring specifications for the project and pitch it to you guys, the city, but I'm not sure why she's not here, but maybe she can come to the special meeting if cause, I think she has to have it done by the end of the school year. So, or maybe she's changed her mind, but we'll get to the bottom of what happened, so. Real fast, to your knowledge, would her father be on site or someone with a license? The reason she was coming tonight was hopefully to bring that information, and of course it would have to be as the building code, the steps have to be the right height, but her father would probably oversee her the entire time.
So, I talked to Kendall last night Sunday night, baseball meeting, and expressed this in will show up later or, can come in your next meeting. Because I wanna make sure that our liability, that they're safe and done correctly. And I know she needs to make a presentation as part of her senior project, so we can't just. Yeah, that's part of her project. She needs to come and
She has to do everything.
she needs to come in, because she's also gonna request funding. Cause it's a small, that's what I know of the project.
Thank you for
So,
helping me, because
yeah, she will just have to show up.
Well, when we get the special meeting set, if one of you wants to let her know, and then just let Cheyenne know enough time to have it put on the agenda, I think.
Yeah.
Okay,
If I know Roger, he'll be here.
so because it is an action item,
It's not?
Oh, yeah,
No,
It is.
sorry, I'm not gonna.
Let's table it.
Yeah, table it. Go ahead.
I'll make the motion to table Callie Warner's, proposal.
it's been moved and seconded, all in favor? Motion passes.
ID followed by pound. Otherwise, please enter the meeting password followed by pound.
I already did.
Do it again.
You have not entered any numbers. You are in the meeting now. There are 3 participants in the meeting.
No, well, somebody's calling in right now.
Yep, this is, Nick Anderson, Mayor, City of Julietta. Who are we speaking with?
Hey, Mayor, this is Tillman Norton with Keller Associates. I also have Sanaz Maliki from Keller Associates that's just listening in. And Paul, you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Paul Clary with Clearwater Construction.
Okay.
I assume you want me to take over now?
Go ahead, Todd.
All right. Well, council, as you know, we have a wastewater treatment project that has gone out to bid. We had a number of companies bid on the project. Oh, I'm sorry, I should have had you introduce yourself. I apologize.
Sir, I'm mad at my office because I didn't know Zoom was an option.
I
drove 3 hours.
I thought you were on your own.
I'm Tommy LaRiviere. I'm the owner of Liberty Concrete.
How do you do?
Thank you for driving down.
Hey, I'm important to us.
So, as you know, there are a number of companies that bid on that. As we opened the bids, the low bidder was Liberty Concrete. They had a bid of $8,058,110 and change. The next low bid was Clearwater Construction and Management at $8,688,673 and change. The recommendation from Keller and Associates after review of this was to reject the low bid and go with the next low bidder because of some bid irregularities in the bid from Liberty Concrete. It was determined that there were administrative irregularities that we believe made it a non-responsive bid. We gave once we received the bids, and I guess before we made that decision, I need to just make sure everybody's aware, we had a protest filed by Clearwater Construction referencing Liberty's bid. Then when the decision was made, Liberty has filed a protest to rejecting their bid, and that means that starts a process where right now the whole project is on hold until tonight. And at this point what happens is we get to hear from Mr. LaRiviere. We'll be able to hear from anybody else who's interested. And so Stillman will be able to make comments. Mr. Clary will be able to make comments. I will probably ask him, and Mr. LaRiviere, I assume we'll have some exchange and discussion. The idea here is not to just have him be a talking head. If you have questions, ask him. This is your opportunity to get the information that you need to be able to make a decision tonight. Now, and the decision you're going to make at the end of this is really you have 3 decisions. You can reject the protest from Liberty Concrete. If you do that, then we stay with Clearwater Construction, and the project will move forward. You can accept the protest from Liberty Concrete, and then you have 2 options. You can either award it then to Liberty Concrete, or you can say, no, we believe there was a problem and we're going to send it out for rebid. And just so that we're all on the same page, it is my belief, and there's no guarantee of this, but life has few guarantees, but it is my belief that if you send for rebid, prices don't tend to go down. We have inflation still running, and so prices tend to go up. Nobody knows how much they will go up. They may go up $1, unlikely, or they could go up significantly. We just don't know. If we have to go to rebid, and Mr. LaRiviere, you know this better than I do, but these contractors then have to contact their subs, get new bids, their suppliers get new bids, and then they calculate and submit it to the city. So we don't know if we would be at the same $8 million range, if it would go up into the nines, we just don't know. So that is the quick summary of where we are. And with that, Mr. LaRiviere, please.
I appreciate that. So, members of the council, I appreciate the time. I appreciate the patience through all of this working back and forth. We never like to protest a job. The only time that we ever attempt to protest a job is if we truly do feel that there's a misunderstanding of some sort that has caused what we have. But as you stated, right out of the gate, for the taxpayers and for the council and everything, right, there's a $600,000 savings between us and your second place bidder. Goes a long ways these days, $600,000. So that's not a small thing, I think, to walk past by any means, right? That's a big chunk of money. And for it to be a misunderstanding in the paperwork. So in the bid documents, when we personally read the bid documents, and we're human, right? We all form beliefs. We think we know everything when we read it. Sometimes we don't, sometimes we do, sometimes that's the reason why we're here to kind of save the case. So in the bid documents, it clearly stated that to list whether company, it had nothing to do with the managing members of the company, it had nothing to do with any of the work history from the other companies or anything sort. So it literally asked, does anybody from this company, the company, own another company? And we said NA, because nobody owns Liberty Concrete other than myself. I'm the sole owner of Liberty Concrete. I also own La Riviere Inc. I also own INF, which is a home building division. I own 9 different companies, right? And I own them solely. And the paperwork clearly asked, do one company own the other? And we said no. And that's what we are being protested on. I'm here to lay on any sword that I have to, that in the state of Washington, in the fun liberal part of the world over there, I got in some trouble with one of my companies. I'm not gonna hide from that. I'm human. Everything was rectified, everything was right. I paid my dues, I fell on the sword. I did everything that I needed to do. And it was literally a clerical thing. In the state of Washington, they have 410 agreements. So if somebody works more than 40 hours in 4 days, you have to have them sign an agreement. I had a few individuals that slipped through the cracks. We have 400 people that run around inside of our company. Can't keep track of all the flaming chickens all the time. A few of them slipped through the cracks. I received an audit, and in the audit, I was found that I didn't have those documents fully executed for a few of these individuals. And so I got fined. I did all the things that I was supposed to do, and the debarment has since been lifted because we worked through everything with the state of Washington. But that has nothing to do with today's bid and today's ability to construct you guys a very beautiful project that is needed for this town. Buck, who's here with me, one of my lead superintendents, he lives here, he's in your guys' community, he's a resident here. This is the kind of stuff that we strive to do.
Who is this gentleman?
James?
Yeah.
Who are you?
Buck Harris, I live at 419 Water Street.
So he's one of our general superintendents. He runs in our operation things and those types of things. So he is going to be the one who takes on this for you. So you have a local resident who's doing a local project. And that's pretty much my spiel. I'm willing for any.
You're making noises.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. LaRiviere, one of the questions I wanted to ask of you is, when you were providing the workers' compensation experience on that, those are broken up in 2-year categories, so 21, 22, 22, 23. I assume we're talking then fiscal years.
Yes.
So, October 1 through the end of September, yes? Something that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not the accountant.
Where's she
Believe
at?
me, neither am I.
I don't know where she at.
And I understand that Liberty Concrete was formed in August of '22.
Sounds right.
One of the concerns I have then is in your application, your bid here, you list that in the fiscal year 21-22, which would have then ended September, so a month after you were formed, you had 305,644 man-hours. How did you have that for Liberty in 1 month?
In 1 month?
Yes, sir.
It's the duration of that they ask you for the audit piece. They ask you for the time duration piece of it. So Liberty Concrete, right? So the work experience piece of it chases me as an individual. The same with the work comp, same with all those things. It chases me as an individual, just like my work comp or my public works license. So my public works license, I physically, personally take the test, and it chases me wherever I go.
So if I'm understanding what you're telling me, then that 305,000, that's for La Riviere Inc. and the other companies.
It is following me personally, it has nothing to do with my companies.
So you had 305,000 hours in 1 month?
The people that I was responsible for.
Well, it would have had to be your companies then.
But it's who I'm responsible for. I understand the connection that everybody tries to make, and it's okay. We go through this in Kingston. I just went through this exact same spiel in Kingston for a wastewater treatment plant for that community.
I mean, real bluntly, what we're facing is in the experience category, Liberty Concrete has sidewalk projects. They don't have a wastewater project anywhere. And as you gave us the experience listing of projects you've done, there were 3 projects, as I recall, that were done by Liberty Concrete. The rest of them were La Riviere Inc. projects.
Which is me.
Well, it's a company.
My work history chases me though. So just like.
Okay, but when we have a bid from, I'm sorry, as an attorney, I get to draw stark distinctions between a person and his company.
Okay.
In fact, I have to.
State Idaho doesn't though.
Actually, they do.
They don't, because otherwise my public works license, and this is no defense counselor at all. My public works license is the same situation. I have to put all of that experience down when I qualify for a public works license for every one of my companies.
But when you tell us of the experience that you've done, and you note that Liberty Concrete did Bowdish Road sidewalk and bike lane, Medical Lake sidewalk repair and lighting, and Blue Beacon truck wash.
Sure.
Those were the 3 projects attributed to Liberty. Then the next 6 projects that you listed are all La Riviere Inc. projects. This is where the problem begins to come, is we're seeing, I mean, it's not just cross-pollination. You're dragging La Riviere in, saying we're attributing this to Liberty. Then you say, no, Liberty stands on its own. Liberty doesn't have debarment history, for example. La Riviere Inc. does. And so it seems like a real bad picking and choosing, and I think it's I don't think it's something that your bid package at all explains, and I don't think, and I think that's where the real concern is coming.
Sure, and that's why I'm standing here, to answer any of those concerns, right? So the cross-pollination, as you call it, right, happens when you own this many companies. But at the end of the day, the sole responsibility and all the sole experience and everything that has to do with this, whether it's a park job that I give to Creekside Landscaping, which is a company I own, I'm responsible. I'm the one who's responsible for all the licensing, all the bonding, everything. I put up my personal home for bonding credit. The Bowdish job that you mentioned, that was a decent sized job for the city of the Valley. It was just under $4 million. It had sewer, it had roadway, it had big retaining walls, had all kinds of structural things in it going above. So Liberty is not just a sidewalk company. It's not just a concrete company. They do bridges. We do structural, we built an entire high-rise in downtown Portland. We have multiple facets of each and every one of our different companies. But at the end of the day, the way the state of Idaho looks at everything, if everything goes, and pardon my French, to hell in a handbasket, it's this guy. Yes, ma'am.
So if you're stating that Liberty Concrete does all these bigger projects that you're stating, why didn't you put the bigger projects on the application rather than the sidewalk application, or sidewalk things?
So 2 reasons. One, we wanted to be very open and honest with the council.
Right.
Right? We wanted to say that, hey, this experience that I've done as a person, I did it over here, I did it over here, I did it over here. We open our book up for honesty and accountability and all those things when we are entering into any project with an owner. Secondly, those pieces of it weren't necessarily finished at the time, right? So some of the stuff is ongoing, things like that. And some of them were private sector. I don't like to use private sector work when we're talking about a public works project with a council or with something that has DEQ funding or anything like that. We try to keep things apples for apples and like for like. We don't like to mix the bag and then on the reference, I don't want you guys to have to go chase some private guy around. I don't know where he's going, right? I mean, the high rise that I built was for a company out of Colorado. I don't even know if they're still around anymore, right? So I give you a reference that you can't check into. You can't get in and get any real meat on the bone per se, right? To understand what we have really done for somebody.
I disagree. We could easily pull the permits and talk to the building inspectors and follow up that way. That's why that information's there when we need to look at that. And when you say, gee, you're the one on the hook, as an attorney who's had to deal with suing contractors, I can tell you, no, you're not. Liberty Concrete's on the hook because the contract here is with Liberty Contract, not Tom Law Riviere.
I'll sign a personal guarantee. There's generally in
But
almost every.
Tom Riviere didn't put in a bid. Liberty Concrete did.
Which
They are an LLC and that protects you from the liability.
I disagree, but I've been sued before and it's pierced the veil and I've had to pay out of pocket.
I know how to pierce the veil, but it's not that easy.
Well, but you can do it, yes, sir?
Yeah, but not just because you are the bidder, not just because you are the owner.
No, but
there
once
has
I'm
to be other bad
but
acts.
once I'm contracted, right? And you have my bonding evidence.
There is a bonding company.
So there's a bonding company, right? So the rules of engagement here are simple in my opinion. You have a bonding company, so you have security. It's an A-rated bonding company, so it's secure. What more security would you need from that? What more security would you get out of the next contractor?
Well, a couple of things that's going to my mind. First, they've been upfront and there's enough muddling of the facts in this and mixed cross-pollination, use the term I used before, that it doesn't come across as being fully honest.
Because they're not as big as me. They're not as big of a conglomerate as I am.
They may not be a conglomerate, but we know who they are, we know that they have done these types of projects, and they've given us their project work, and they didn't shade the truth.
So that's what I'm being accused of, is shading the truth?
I am, yeah, because of the cross-pollination, you say,
That's a
well,
pretty
here's
serious
all these
allegation,
man hours.
counselor. That's a pretty serious allegation, counselor. That's a very, very.
If you think I make it lightly, you're dreaming.
Well, you might want to be careful. That's collusion.
I happen to know that one too.
It's absolute collusion.
It's
absolute collusion.
No, it's not.
Oh, yes, it is, sir. It is absolute collusion.
To say that I think you're dishonest?
To say that you think that I'm dishonest because there's nothing in that paperwork that I was dishonest about.
Well,
You have not one shred of proof that I've been dishonest with this council about one single thing. I gave them a competitive bid. I provided security. I provided a $600,000 savings. And now you want to say that in your opinion, I am a shady person, that I run a shady company, that I do shady work in a shady
What I
business.
said is the information provided.
Because you can't interpret it?
No, I can't interpret it.
No, you don't, because you're not interpreting it correctly, sir.
Well, I may not interpret it the way you wanted me to, but I can certainly read English.
Yes, sir.
I respect that you come here to fight for this, and you have hard. And I don't doubt that you can do great things. But this sewer project is enough to flush this town down the toilet. And I believe that our town has a right to reject you on the basis of what you've turned in. We have the right to take our attorney's advice, we have the right to take our engineer's advice, and that's why we're here today.
Mm-hmm. Did Keller tell you that we're building the project with them as it sits?
I did not say that, what I said.
No, I asked the question.
I am telling you, we have the right
I know you
to
do.
take the advice.
Absolutely. I'm not here to dispute that at all.
So what I'm saying is, rather than, fight this out here, and I don't really feel like you're actually presenting a case to the council of why we should trust you to overlook these things that look like discrepancies to me. I'm not an attorney.
Yeah, I would love to do that. I would love to do that. That's what I came down here for. I didn't come down here to get an argument with your attorney. That's the reason I didn't bring an attorney.
It appears that it crashed and burned in my eyes. I mean, I was already skeptical anyway, and again, not to use attorney speak, but I believe this council has the right to represent our residents and say, for these reasons.
Absolutely.
We have the right to take our attorney's advice, we have the right to take any engineer advice that we were to hire, and go with a different bid because of the way you presented this. Because our community cannot afford to make a mistake.
Understand that completely.
But you've made mistakes, it appears that way.
What do you
It
mean?
appears that the way you presented this, you made either mistakes or you did not represent the facts. That's what our attorney's saying, is that you did not represent the facts clearly enough to give us enough confidence to go with you, even though you were the lowest bid.
Okay, so confidence comes from a face-to-face, in my opinion.
No, confidence comes from your ability to convey facts that give us confidence, okay, now we understand. I actually understand less now.
I'm open for questions. I was doing what we do. And I think he understands where I've at and where I've been and all these other things. It's the reason I did not bring an attorney. I wasn't expecting to get into a argument with an attorney. That's the reason I didn't bring one. Because that's not what this is about.
No.
At all. So I'm not here to dispute law. I'm not here to dispute any of that stuff because I'm not an attorney and I didn't bring one. I'm here to give you that confidence. I will answer any questions. If I had an opportunity in the bid paper, I would have given you a whole long list of things that I have done. I had a short amount of time. I had a short amount of things to give you. I'm currently working a wastewater job with Keller. Us and Keller, I don't know about this office, but the office up north out of Coeur d'Alene, we have an extremely well-rounded portfolio together. When I bought Contractors Northwest was a company that was been around for 50 years. That's all they did was wastewater. So that's all we have a whole division of people that do nothing but wastewater. We're currently doing a wastewater treatment plant for Kingston Cataldo. We are currently there doing that job with them. We're currently bidding a $12 million plant right now in Page. Yes, sir.
Am I allowed to ask a question?
Yeah, that's what this is going.
Okay, well,
he said this was gonna be informal.
I'm new to the mayor role, so.
Don't turn to me as trying to run this, 'cause
Right.
this is you guys with him. I have questions, but
I wanna
it's
know
for
what's
you to
going
have the
on.
information.
Well, I just wanna ask my question, then we can see if someone has a question. So if you have this company that you bought that's done all of these wastewater plants, why didn't you bring that company forward? Why
So
didn't, instead of one that didn't have any?
Yeah, so, well, it's not that they don't have me, I also listed La Riviere, which does have wastewater experience. So we do have a lot of wastewater experience in La Riviere. Liberty has a lot of wastewater experience as well. CNI was basically absorbed by La Riviere, so it's not an actual entity anymore. The people showed up, the people came, all the things came with it, and they are still actively with us. But that's the reason why we didn't list them, is because they're not an entity.
So why not La Riviere?
Why not bid as La Riviere? Because, so, if you want on that side of it, on the personal side of the world. No,
That's not a personal side.
No,
That's a company.
No, I want you to ask because it is personal for me. So La Riviere is I'm the third generation in the company. So I'm three generations. My grandfather had it, my dad had it, now I have it. My dad is still my partner. My dad wants out. But what my dad wants out for, I can't afford. That's the truth. So I started Liberty, I started these other companies, and me and my dad are working through our dissolvement of that in order to get my father out of the company. So that's the reason why I did not bid as La Riviere. We are bidding as Liberty all over the place. City of Coeur d'Alene, we have Liberty jobs. Spokane, I have Liberty jobs. We're bidding things in Montana. We bid things in the Boise Valley. We have a Boise Valley office. We have it all over the place. So Liberty is bidding as a prime in all these places.
So if you had all those, why list the La Riviere experience instead of the Liberty experience?
Because I truly wanted to be an open book with this council. That is a God-forsaken truth. I don't lie. I don't want you guys to find out some other way, because everybody's gonna find out, right? So I'm truthful and honest, and I lay it on the table.
Stillman, do you have anything?
I do, sorry if my typing is coming through, just trying to type a few things, so I remember to ask about them.
No, we can't hear that.
But, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Perfect. So, first of all, I just wanted to clarify a couple of things that I've heard so far. One of the things I want to make sure that's very clear is that the difference between these bids, I don't want there to be a misconception that the difference between the bids is something that would result in increased liability, in terms of having to raise rates or anything like that, that portion of the project is grant funded. And there is sufficient grant funding to award the project to either Liberty Concrete or Clearwater Construction and still have enough hope.
La Riviere Inc., Mr. La Riviere shot me a questioning look, and so I showed him in the packet one of those experience pages where that does show that, and I think he wants to address that, so please.
Yes, sir, thank you. So what we typed out there is these projects, in those projects, were joint agreements. This isn't a joint agreement job. Those jobs were joint agreements. Those are me taking my Liberty company and teaming it with my La Riviere company, right? That's what that is presented as, is that is the joint agreement piece of it. So I apologize for that confusion. It completely made sense when me and you clicked on that, thank you.
And you understand now why I talked about the cross-pollination?
Now I totally understand the cross-pollination, and I'm not even offended a little bit. So, now it makes more sense of what everybody's talking about. What we are referring to is the way that this experience has come about is through a joint agreement between the two companies. We're not saying that this is a joint agreement. We're telling you that the work history is generated from the joint agreement that these companies had together. That is the same as we did for years, as you heard Keller speak, between CNI and La Riviere, right? La Riviere got its experience because of joint agreements with CNI. That's how you gain experience, because unfortunately we're not born with it, right? We have to get it by hard work, we have to get it by dedication, we have to get it by mistakes, right? And so that's how we were able to gain those pieces. And so what this is just telling everybody, this is how we gain that connection. So my extreme apologies, now it makes sense.
Stillman, any other questions?
Yeah, I guess just maybe a final comment. It's just based on that same topic. It very much appears like the information is being presented as if you are joint partners with La Riviere and you are choosing to use certain amounts of information that kind of boost your that portion of the bid packet, and then so it just really have that appearance, and so that's definitely, you know, part of the issue that we're seeing here is that this information was filled out to only include certain amounts of information on this joint partnership, which is what it appeared, but not to include other certain amounts of information that may be viewed as negative.
Makes total sense. Yeah, if I was trying to hide the negative, I wouldn't have put La Riviere's name on anything. So it makes complete sense, and so I do apologize about it. We thought that we filled the paperwork out correctly by saying these were done through this, because technically at that point, La Riviere is who would you reach out to get an experience model for Liberty, if you call those references and pieces, right? Because that owner is only gonna know one of the names, or they're gonna know the joint venture name, right? And those types of things is the reason why we put that information.
Okay.
Sorry, I have a question,
Yes,
or not really a question. My concern is, you're saying, well, we thought that we filled this out, or I didn't mean that. To me, it screams, this is the first time maybe you filled this out, because I know myself, I'm unsure. I would probably call the state or whoever to say, how do I fill this out? What are you looking for here? Because for you to put this information down in the bid and then come, oh, well, we didn't mean that, or I thought I filled it out correctly, just to me screams maybe inexperience, or that you are like trying to shade things.
Understand.
And that's just how I'm interpreting it, but
Well, let
for
me-
someone that says that you have all this experience, it seems that maybe you would have knowledge of how to fill out these forms. So we wouldn't have these questions and concerns.
Understand. So, to calm those fears hopefully, and to answer directly, I don't personally fill this stuff out. So, I have an admin team that fills these things out, right? My experience comes in the field. My experience comes when we need to build some boots on the ground, putting things together. I can build you a road from here to anywhere, I can build you a wastewater plant, I can build those things. I'm not a very good clerical person, and in my admin's defense, we filled this out just like this in several other recent bids, and every one of them passed. So we didn't look at it as a mistake, we didn't look at it as that. I'm saying that I'm sitting here with some accountability, that if I brought something to you that was confusing, my apologies, was never my intention. But this has literally passed through several other projects in the last month, and we have not had this.
Your counterparts that also submitted bids, where they feel like they filled out the bid packet correctly, and they feel like you did not. And to find a bidder not responsive, if we find something that was filled out incorrectly on your bid packet, then the decision could be to find your bid not responsive. And so that was the basis of the city's decision to find your bid not responsive, was because these things were filled out, and they appeared to be filled out incorrectly. And so they decided to find your bid not responsive and proceed with the second bidder. And by making that decision, that also was a response to the protest from Clearwater Construction.
Absolutely, and I had an opportunity at that point to address the issues for clarity, or also file a protest because Clearwater's paperwork is also irregular. And so I had that opportunity to create even more of a headache for the council, right?
What did you find for irregularities?
They have a authority to sign, there's a piece of their paperwork that is irregular for authority to sign.
Was that true?
Yes.
Yeah, so in our letter to the city, that was something that was pointed out, in option 2, in order for the city to, proceed with Clearwater Construction and Management, they would have to, A, sign Liberty Concrete's bid not responsive, because if the city council felt like the administrative issues in their bid packet, were, more than just minor bid informalities. And then B, they also had to, waive, the requirement for including evidence of authority to sign as a minor bid informality, which is what the council decided to do. And then following those decisions, they then awarded the contract to Clearwater Construction.
Well, you haven't awarded yet.
It was awarded, it's now under protest, and it's being considered under protest. So it was, it's, the proper wording is, yes, it was awarded, it's just now under protest.
Contract.
Yeah.
So, Paul, are you still on the phone?
He is, just give him a moment to unmute.
Yes, I am.
Paul, is there anything you wanted to add to the discussion here?
Yeah, there is. I think Mr. Richardson and Mr. Norton did a good job of talking about the irregularities in the bid of Liberty Concrete and such. I want to take a little different tack, and I'm going to make it very brief because I know it's getting late and everybody would like to get home. Just a little chronology of what's transpired from Clearwater standpoint. Back in January, the city made the award to Clearwater, which as a contractor, once something's awarded, all kinds of things happen up until the award date, as far as protests and this and that transpire. But once the thing's awarded, it's a done deal as far as we're concerned, and we subsequently received a contract from the city. We signed it and sent it back. We proceeded to get bonds from our bonding company and got billed for $56,000 for those bonds. We've written subcontracts, we've written POs, we've begun preparing the schedule. We've ordered insurance, we ordered builder's risk insurance, which was also a requirement of this job, because we felt we had green lights all the way down the road. And, which is typical of, I mean, it's just what happens, do the same thing any contractor would do after getting an award. And now we're here. So, we've got a lot in place, put a lot of effort into it to get to this place we're at, and we obviously fully support the city's position before, and ask that the city just simply, I don't know if it's do nothing or revote and proceed in the same direction with an award to Clearwater.
Any questions for Paul?
No, I don't have any.
The one comment I'm gonna make in response to that is, we received the contracts that you sent to us. They've not been signed by the city. They've not been presented to council or the mayor, because this bid protest is outstanding and we're not doing anything until this protest is resolved. And so I'll make that perfectly clear for everyone.
I understand.
Okay.
Contract is not signed on that side.
And, Mr. LaRiviere, one question I had, this gentleman that, Buck, was it?
Sure, yeah.
I don't mean to get informal, I just can't remember your name, I apologize.
Yeah, no worries.
What is his role going to be in this?
He's gonna run the job.
Okay, I asked because in the key individual listing, I didn't see his name.
It might actually officially be James in there.
James, give me your last name.
Harris.
And I'm not saying that, maybe it's just I need to put on my glasses, but if you wanna show me, because I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, very good.
Oh, you're no better than me, you got playing the trombone there.
So see,
The project manager, it said Vern Hegboom?
Oh, Banner Headblue, he's the project manager. Yeah, but this
That's
is.
our PM. I'm an operational manager. So
Okay.
He's an operational guy.
Facilitate the stuff in the field.
Okay.
And I
Well,
don't,
maybe it didn't ask for that, so.
I don't think it did.
Okay, that's
Because
fine.
those are the experienced people that we work for.
And that's what I was
Yes.
trying to clarify.
No, yeah, so he's operations, so yeah, he will physically be running the building.
Do you have anything else you wanna say before,
Not really. I guess, any other clarifying questions about our history, I mean, our jobs, I mean, like I said, I'm an open book. On a personal level, we know we can build you guys a hell of a project, right? We'll bring it in on time. We've brought everything in on time that we've ever done. Bring it in generally under budget because we VE everything on these projects, right? We value engineer these projects because we know them inside and out. We do have an awesome relationship with your engineer. I know he can't speak to these things because of where he's at, but that's fine. But we have an awesome relationship with your engineer. And like I said, your first and your second are both irregular. They're both irregular bids. And so what gives precedence to a swing of an irregularity when it comes to paperwork, right? You guys want a wastewater plant.
I feel that, my personal opinion is there was a lot of irregularities with yours, and so that was, I mean, there's a lot of red flags. And when we all talked about it, I mean, we pulled them all out, you know, out here to you. You've owned them, that's great. But that's where our decision was made, is because there were so many. Like you said, we're all human. We all make mistakes every day, we own them. And I appreciate the fact that you have done that. But there was a lot.
Council, before you introduce anybody else voices an opinion, I'm gonna ask, and I don't think either contractor or our engineer is going to appreciate what I'm about to say. If I offend everybody, I'm probably doing it right, but my advice to you right now is I want you to table this for a week and let's have a special meeting in a week. There's information presented by Mr. LaRiviere that I want to investigate. Some of his information I think needs to be evaluated in a little bit longer format than we have right here. And I'm not ready to give you my advice without looking into it.
I fully agree with you. I think that with him owning some of the things, I think it does give us time to think about both sides of it.
I think that's a great idea.
I will say, he said he's a little bit unhappy with me because of things now I'm unhappy with him because he's given me more work.
So we're getting along just fine. We're already married.
The mayor had to do that.
Paul, and Stillman, I apologize, but I really do think for me to be able to give the proper advice to the city, I've got to do some more investigation. And so I'm asking the city to table this for a week while I do some, and we'll have a special meeting in a week.
Mayor, do you have anything to say? I know you've been involved in a lot of this through all this. Do you have anything to add before we go further?
I do admit there was some red flags. Clearwater's was a minor red flag, but I do value the opinion of our council and would also like to investigate just a little more. So we do have all the proper information ahead of it. That is my opinion, but it is the council's job to vote on this.
And before you vote, if you don't mind, and before you answer, I'm available during that week for any other investigating, any questions, follow-up questions, anything like that, please don't hesitate. I'm a phone call away.
Amanda, did you have a question?
My question, I guess, and I don't have your packet in front of me to verify or double check, but I'm confused on maybe the timeline of like Debarment to Liberty being created, but yet you have all these other companies. Why the creation of Liberty versus this 8 other companies that you're involved in? And it kind of, I get the feeling like, oh, when somebody like files for bankruptcy, they just pop back up with another name and they wash their history. And I'm worried about that, like whatever happened in Washington or whatever, it's like, oh, but now I have this brand new name, I'm Liberty, and
Sure.
the timeline.
So I'm still an active contractor under La Riviere in the state of Washington. It has not gone away from being an active contractor. We are no longer debarred in the state of Washington. It was a 1-year debarment, and the debarment has been left. If you go on on Washington's website at any time, you can type in my name. It'll show you everything that I was debarred for, and it'll show you that the debarment is no longer active.
And let me jump in real quick.
We discussed that.
Yeah,
But
I
as far
have
as-
email from Ellen saying
Right,
they.
we got that. I'm just like, with Liberty created,
So-
but you have all these other businesses already that sound like they're all construction work. So why create another one instead of just utilizing what you already
Sure,
have?
makes total sense, and I love that question, and I appreciate the opportunity to answer it. Specialty size work, right? So because I treat them all as individual companies, so I compete on a daily basis, and I will use Mr. Cleary because he's on the phone, right? So he owns Clearwater Construction. Well, he's not gonna take a landscape bid from La Riviere because I'm his competition, right? And so there's a lot of companies that won't take the bid from a competing company. And so my landscape company only does specialty landscaping. My framing division only does home building. And so we're able to manage those and put those into categories with specialized managers, specialized individuals to do the things that they are great at. And I have children, and after going through what I went through on a personal level with my father, I know what you get this one, you get this one, and you get this one to stop from any bickering, because I have 3 generations of family bickering of who owns what and what does what and who does everything. That is the honest answer that I can give you, is that they are not created as shells. There's not been one bankruptcy, there's not been one unpaid payment, there's not been one anything. This is not a run from anything. This is a creation of a family entity and a family dynasty, for lack of a better word, that I can then create for my children to keep moving. Yes, sir?
So you mentioned that you're doing these jobs up north of sewer plants, and these are under the La Riviera, or are they under Liberty?
One's under La Riviera, one's under Liberty.
So is this the first one that Liberty has done?
No.
But in the packet, we didn't see any others?
Because they weren't finished.
Okay.
It asked me to not list anything that was not finished.
Are they finished now?
No, they're still underway. Good. I'll come down and pick you up.
If I can add one thing too, when we're talking about
Hold on just a second, Stillman. Hold on just a second, Stillman.
We're gonna add just one thing, when we're talking multidisciplinary, like lanes for our business ventures, is the focus on that discipline, right? Specifically that discipline. your wastewater treatment plant is majority concrete anyway, right? So there's gonna be a lot of concrete involved in it, so the driver of that is that. Whereas when you looked at some of the other contracts, like explaining some of the joint venture things, when you get into a bigger contract that's multi-complex and requires different skill sets, but you still wanna incorporate that under one umbrella, that's where you would bring in like the Riviere and Liberty Concrete to perform all the work on one job. And that would be a joint venture versus what this is. So I guess a part of that, what we're talking about is some of the irregularities that you guys are looking at. Once it gets explained, maybe it's better transparency, so maybe the information wasn't filled out incorrectly. So that's kind of the intent of those discipline changes and what that is.
And especially on this job, so much of your plant is skid mounted, right? There's so much of this plant that comes pre-assembled because that's what Keller helped you guys do, was vet out a plant and everything that's pre-vetted, that's pre-done, and everything that comes out of your guys' plant is concrete.
I would hope that no matter what decision is made, that the three of you or whoever's in charge of whoever made this bid packet gets sat down and they go through it and it's filled out correctly from here on forward, whatever you do.
It's been fixed, man.
Yeah.
Mark?
Yeah, thank you. So I just would like all parties to understand that our residents voted for this. They want this, they need it. And this is a largely fixed income, blue collar, hardworking community. So as you guys fight for what you believe is yours, remember what you're actually stepping on to do that. So the council is gonna make the decision based on what our residents need, and I hope that as you fight for what you believe is yours, and I'm talking of all parties, that you take into consideration the small town and the consequences that will bring. Because there were irregularities, and people have red flags, and they have a right to have those.
I live in a smaller town than yours.
Okay, fair enough.
So I know exactly what you're talking about. I know where you're coming from. The reason this job piqued our interest is because that man lives here. That's why this job piqued my interest, right? I don't have an office within a stone's throw here. As I said, I drove 3 hours to get to this one. My next office is 5 hours that way, right? But he lives here, right? And so that's the reason why we picked this job, is because I knew he would run it. He would be home every night. Otherwise, he lives out of a suitcase in my Boise office. So he gets to be home every night, in the community, with the people, and all those things, right? I mean, that's why we picked this one.
Well, I hope you'll be conscious, and I'm talking to everyone, you'll
Yes,
be
sir.
conscious of the very people
We
that
will.
will actually be very adversely affected if we don't get this project going.
Totally
And we have to pay a bunch of other fees because people fought over something that frankly we are gonna choose one way or the other.
Yes, sir.
Stillman, did you have something to add? Stillman?
I do, thank you. I was about to say to you, can you hear me okay?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, so I think Todd was about to say it earlier, and I just wanted to clarify, in the letter packet that we provided to the city council, and also the packet that Todd more recently provided, we provided a copy of email correspondence with the Washington Department of Labor and Industries directly from them, whether the department information was correct. I'm sorry. One moment.
Okay.
You'll have to blame the Radisson here in Seattle, that I don't know why the internet's not better.
It is Seattle, so we understand.
Thank you.
Did we lose you?
No, I'm still here. I think for clarity, I'll go ahead and dial in, but you can dial in.
What? What was that, Stillman?
He's gonna dial in.
Oh. Mark, if I could take 2 minutes to your point, our livelihoods depend on these contracts too.
No.
We feed 400 families.
And the actual crew is from here.
understand the council needing some more time to decide on it. And then maybe the last thing is that I don't think that it's appropriate for the council to make a decision based on how they're going to proceed based on the proximity of anyone's employees. That is not something that other contractors would want to hear, because that's certainly not something that we are allowed to consider as a reason for proceeding with one option or the other. That needs to not be part of the decision. That's all that I have to say.
Thank you, Stillman.
I'm not in favor of waiting, but no offense, Todd, but.
No offense taken. Not even a little.
Does anybody have any more questions?
I think Stillman's right. We gotta move forward. Our community voted for this. They want it, they need it, they're already paying for it. We've heard plenty as to why we made the decision we made, and I stand by it.
I sort of agree. No, like, I wanna respect Todd's, advice. But some of the red flags are still there for me, but I am okay with waiting a week. I wouldn't wanna wait 2 weeks.
I'm on the fence as well, just because I'd like to take Todd's advice. I do understand where you're coming from, Mark. We made that decision because of what was presented to us, and if it was wrong, it's not our fault, it was somebody else's. I do believe, as you said, there's still a lot of red flags. I told you I appreciate you being here and answering honestly.
Tell you council, I don't know if it'll help. I'm free Thursday night.
We can do Thursday. Can you do
I mean,
Thursday?
it gives me 48 hours and I'll have to work fast,
Yeah.
but, I agree, I'm concerned about the timing, and so.
Okay, well,
I'll work hard and I'll put my staff on it, and I can have something Thursday night if it'll work for you guys.
okay, I'll make a motion to,
Just one, to clarify, kinda, it feels like we're, I don't wanna swear, but we're stuck between a rock and a hard spot. Probably guaranteed, no matter which way we go forward, if we give Liberty, Clearwater's gonna protest and we face repercussions that way. If we go Clearwater, then Liberty. So, it feels like we're darned if we do and darned if we don't.
well, I think at that point, we've gotta make the best decision for the city.
I know, I just want to everybody in the audience to know that
We are up against the rock.
So
for
let's
the-
jump.
Right.
What are we waiting for?
Well, 48 hours. I mean, if we don't wanna wait a week.
Sorry, Mark.
I know.
I always get to wait.
And Todd, we pay Todd money for his.
Okay, so I'll make a motion, to table this until Thursday night at the next meeting.
So Thursday, what, at 6?
You said 6 is fine.
6, okay.
Is there? I'll respect the decision of whatever's made. Thank you.
Thank you, I really appreciate you coming down.
By respect, you mean you're not gonna sue? By respect, you mean you're not gonna sue?
Hold on. I'm still here, yes.
So will you be back in the area Thursday?
I'll be returning late Wednesday night, so I will be in the area Thursday. So if you would like me there, I can be there in person.
Hey, Stillman, I booked you up all day Thursday.
We have you on retainer.
Would the council feel better if Stillman was here in person?
Yes.
Yeah, if you could be here, Stillman, that would be great.
Was that 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock? I didn't hear what the actual time was.
6 o'clock Thursday.
6 o'clock. Okay, I will be there.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
All right, I'm gonna hang up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Clary, if you want to join us Thursday, you're welcome as well.
Okay. I think I will do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah. Hey, staff reports, Justin.
I'm not gonna get into too many staff reports tonight. We all are in communication and everything is rolling forward, so I'm gonna pass.
I have 2 things. I just wanted to give a good shout out to the JK Baseball Association that after 20+ years, they did a committed effort to fundraise and were able to get baseball lights on the field this year. So that was amazing because they fundraised and got a ton of money, and with lots of volunteer help from community members, businesses inside and outside the community, we have our first game under the lights, hopefully on the 17th, weather permitting, so that's super exciting. It's free to the community for all baseball games, and they are offering up free hot dogs that night. Yay! So I just wanted to give them their dues.
Way to go, Bonnie.
And then if we could get Todd like an update on maybe ordinance enforcement and let us all know how that's going.
I actually have that update, perhaps in conjunction with something you might
Jump in.
talk about. I was just going to give the update that Melva had advised me that earlier in February, she had sent out letters to certain residents, letting them know that they were currently in violation of the city's trash and junk ordinances, and that if they were not complied with, a fine will be imposed. And a follow-up letter is going to be sent out. I need to coordinate with Melva on that, but that is in the works. So that's on the clerk side. I guess I don't know, Todd, if there's anything else.
We've got 3 cases we're prosecuting. I have a pretrial on one of them next Tuesday. All right. So it's moving ahead.
And I've been doing some drives around. I've seen 2 concerted real efforts on some property owners. Some of the other ones, not so much, but it's good to see that at least a couple of them are taking it seriously.
The ones that are not, please get that to Justin. Justin, you and I will coordinate, and we'll get tickets issued and bring in some more prosecutions, because everybody who's wanting to do the job right and get it fixed, we want to work with them. The ones who are not, we need to coerce them.
Well, and by comparing photos, Justin might have a better
Yeah,
look.
because we took the initial photos.
Right, so.
Which reminds me, sorry, one thing, it was asked if we could get the dumpster now instead of waiting until April 1st for the brush bin.
I was gonna ask about that.
Because that encourages people to clean up and they're ready to start, so
Yeah.
I am going to.
Yeah, I was going to ask when that was gonna be coming, because I thought it should have been March.
I like that, especially with the round of letters that have just gone out, so that kind of is perfect timing to encourage.
So it may cost a half a month more, but it'll be worth it, so.
Yeah, we budgeted, I think, for the whole year, didn't we, or most of the year, so.
Oh, we did? Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was just April through October, right?
No, I thought we budgeted for, yeah.
And to remind the community and everybody, in April is the free dumpsters down there where they can take.
Household garbage is in April, the 1st and 3rd Saturday. Yes.
And Cheyenne, you'll have them on the water bills as a reminder for people.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll want to reach out to Amanda Bashaw at Latah County Solid Waste, and then she can give you some information to put on the Facebook page.
Okay, perfect.
Great job tonight.
Thank you.
Congratulations, everybody's doing great. Don't have anything else.
I did want to thank again the citizens for coming, and I did want to thank the support of the council and moving me up to the mayor's spot. I hope to do you guys proud.
Mayor, real quick, if I may, on the update. So on the treasurer side, I just want everyone to know that we are currently preparing for the upcoming audit that will begin the 18th, so this next week. Some records have been sent to the people who are doing the audit. It's kind of like a pre-list of records that they needed in order to get started, but there will be additional records that they will need. So we are working with them currently to get that audit underway.
She's already learned on the notebook. So the city responded to a complaint about the restriction on how many people can be in here. I would really like to ask the people, especially the ones who did the complaining, to comply with that and not stand in the doorway. Because we actually did what they asked, and I don't know why they're the ones who think they should be the ones violating it. I don't want to see anyone violating it.
And we will, this was our first attempt, but we do want to make sure that we have chairs out there and that you're not blocking the door, because it is a fire hazard and when people are going around to go to the bathroom and stuff, so, thank you. Todd?
See you Thursday.
Cheyenne, did you have anything else?
I did not.
Okay.
What, I have.
Oh, just a second, just 1 second. Okay, Joe?
I'm diving.
Clifford?
I'm fine.
Okay, now we will move on to public comments. Do we have any public comments?
What was the capacity? I don't know what you were talking about. How many people are actually allowed in here?
36.4. Yeah, 36.4.
Thank you, Clever. I should just ask you.
Are you the .4?
That's what we said.
I have a comment, if I may.
Thank you.
Excuse me for walking, but I just had a third. So first of all, I want to say to you, Nick, that I'm very heartfelt, and I think you are in a very suited role, and I think you're going to do great, and I mean that sincerely. As far as the couple of us that were in there, there's an Idaho statute, Todd, you know this, we have to be able to hear you by law. And there is a real loud buzzing sound, I don't know if it's a heater, we could barely hear you. That's kind of why we were standing in the doorway. So it's a mute point to attend a meeting if we can't hear. And there is not, I don't have the statute, we have to be able to hear you. So I don't know how we can remedy that, but there is a very loud buzzing sound in that room. It was really hard to strain to hear you, I just wanted to say that. Okay?
Along that line, city does not even have to put up an overflow, they can just cap it and not,
Oh,
anybody who's letting
absolutely.
that come in.
I'm aware of that
So,
too.
Maybe they can learn
I'm
how to
aware of
count.
that too. I'm glad the city ordinances were brought up, and Cheyenne, welcome, I think you're gonna do great, and I love you, sweater. But anyway, so, all last year, you all know that I brought up city ordinance, us not enforcing them many times, and I got shot down, many times about enforcing them, so I was excited to hear you guys talking about doing it now. I think it's great. But the real reason why I'm up here is because of an email I received from Cheyenne. I did request to be on the agenda for this month to discuss, reasons why Cynthia and I should be removed as the chairman of the P&Z. It was denied for good reason, because you sent me an email, which I really appreciate, and I replied to you that you stated that Cynthia and I is no longer the chairman for the planning and zoning. So my request got denied because it says that it, not only Kendrick, I was at that meeting, disbanded, but Juliaetta disbanded. So I'm here asking, because Mike McGee, according to him today, we still have a P&Z, but we just have 3 board members at the time. That would be Justin, Mike McGee, and Cynthia. But the city, which you were copied on, said that no, Juliaetta disbanded. So do we have a P&Z for Juliaetta or no?
So I believe that we were looking into it. Todd was gonna do some research because we were under the understanding that ours was disbanded, and that's why we didn't ask you to be on the agenda until we figured this out.
Okay.
So we are still doing some research. Todd has been extremely busy with other things for the city, so but we
But
are
as of tonight,
working
is
on
there a
it.
P&Z for Juliaetta? Or is it kind of just on hold right now?
I think there is a P&Z for Juliaetta, but I've got to confirm that.
Okay, sounds great. So then if there is, I'll just request to be on the agenda next month for that. So, thank you.
Is there any other public comments?
I would like to say something.
Okay, Cindy?
I just want to thank the board, honestly, for all of your amazing support. I'm super excited about you, Nick, being mayor, and I'm here to support. I do want to bring up a very valid point, though, that as appointed positions as treasurer and clerk, they are employees. They are not elected officials. So being accused in public on podcasts and other information is really, really devastating and hurtful. And it has caused tremendous stress. The stress that I've endured has been horrible. My businesses, and you can sit there and play your violin. You've accused
Are you
me
addressing us
publicly.
or are you addressing the council?
I am
You have
addressing
to
the
address
community.
Who's she addressing?
Please, it is her time.
This is the problem with people who are accusing employees of doing things illegal, slander, defamation. We are not elected officials. We are not subject to the same ridicule,
Can you just turn and laugh?
unfortunately,
Please,
as elected
quiet in the
officials.
gallery, please. Thank you.
People can talk about officials, but as employees, We're only doing the best that we know how to do. And I'm asking for courtesy for Cheyenne. She's amazing. She has a legal background. She is gonna do an amazing job. I chose to run my businesses. I'm tired. I have a lot to do. Melba has a family that she had a severe loss and she has chose to move on. Those people and myself deserve to be respected for the job that we've done, not put on public display as some horrible individuals. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Just asking questions.
Thank you.
Is there any other public comment? Okay, moving on.
Okay, I make a motion to move it into executive session, Idaho Code 74-2061F.
Okay, this is a roll call vote. Amanda?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Motion passes. Thank you all for coming. We do appreciate it. And please take my public comment stuff. Please reach out if you have things to say. Okay?
Yeah, that's how.
Good job. Great at that.
Oh, I was waiting to get, I was gonna get paid.
Oh, yeah, I think it was that.
You get paid. Some of the, making me go in there.
Oh, yes, you did.
Yeah, you can't tell him. He's a veteran, can't hear it. He's a veteran and can't hear it. You're going to kick him out?
Well, you heard what I said. I have a you could not hear.
No, he couldn't hear. I couldn't hear either.
And you're standing in the door, we're in that room. That's right. Bring your dog here. If I don't talk to you later.
They're recording you.
Have a great night.
They're recording you.
Most of the occupancy.
They're recording you. Say hi to the camera.
I walked in the back. I walked in the back, please.
This is what's standing up.
I walked in the room, and she said, "You're going to interrupt the whole meeting by walking in here." I said, "Yes, I am."
Never disappoints.
I know, right? Typically, I didn't know anything was really said about
Oh, what I said is, oh, they're probably quitting because of lawsuits that are coming down the pike and they're afraid.
Oh, so we didn't know why.
True. I actually heard them say
we didn't know why they resigned. We were just asking questions.
They're
You have to say, I think, and this one here is what told me to get the fuck out of town.
There's too many bottles to drink.
Oh, it's that one right
Too
there.
many.
Yeah, too many.
Yeah.
There's such thing as public intoxication.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, you too. Good night. See ya. Boy, I never.